$200. We just switched over to another video. So I gave them $200 a week starting week 1. That $300 that they gave me, that I got all those things done in one day, would have taken me 6 weeks at $100 every 2 weeks. And that's if I didn't spend a single dollar of it. Turns out, because they gave me that $300, 6 weeks later, they were $1,200 ahead. But they wanted to keep me groveling and keep me on my knees. Hey, where'd all that God stuff get you now, huh? That schadenfreude, they take that same joy and satisfaction seeing Amy fall on her face and become an alcoholic. See, where'd that God stuff get you, huh? Yeah, you should have listened to me. Should have just stuck with lying and cheating and stealing. That harm joy runs deep. And I know there's still people that want to see me fall flat on my face and go, ha ha! Who had the last laugh now? What does that saying mean? Who has the last laugh? He who laughs last, laughs best. It's referring to the harm someone else experiences, and you get the last laugh when they get fucked. My sister Amy, who went the way of the church, I guarantee she knows it, and so do all of the other sisters. Mom and Dad take a sense of joy and satisfaction and fulfillment, seeing Amy struggle, seeing Amy's pain and suffering. Ha ha! Where'd all that God stuff get you, huh? Should have just stuck with lying and cheating and stealing like me. Think you're better than the rest of us? Huh! Guarantee there's people that want to see me fall flat on my face. And if and when I do, they will relish in the feeling that it brings them. That spirit is going to waste you and lay you to waste if you do not get a hold of it. So long as you, Doug, pretend that you never had any problem with that hill out there that I brought such beauty to that you couldn't stand it, you had to restore chaos every time I clean up your yard and clean up your house, you have to dirty it up real quick to cover up any evidence of Jeff's good work, that way it's all me. That spirit is going to lay you to waste if you don't get a hold of it. It's the same spirit that made you shoot at me with a gun last month. It's the same spirit that made you say, no, not that tire, this one. It's the same spirit that is the reason we can't ever work together, because anytime I say, well, maybe you ought to do it this way, you'll go to any length to show me you got a better way. We've been doing this our whole lives. You saw when I went over the front of those handlebars and it turned into a horse that we've been here before. We ain't going to be here again. You don't shape up, ship out. We had soul contracts coming into this world. But we don't necessarily have to re-up that contract. We can call it quits and go our separate ways after this. Because in the next world, Julie won't necessarily be my mother. In the last world, she might have been my sister or my daughter. Likewise, in the last world, when you saw me going over the front of that horse, we've been here before. And you will be here again and again and again until you get it right. And getting it right is referring to those fundamental underlying things that makes you a good person. Like emptying out your closet full of skeletons of things that you feel guilty and shameful for, so that you won't keep doing them next time you have the opportunity to. But when you've got a whole closet full of them, adding one more to it by fucking someone over for $1,600 on a lemon car, that ain't shit compared to the other stuff that I've done over my life that I feel guilty and shameful for. Pfft, throw that one right in the closet along with the rest. That don't bother me a bit. But obviously it does. Or you wouldn't have come to me trying to pre-pave the path and avoid alienation and rejection for those things that you already feel guilty and shameful for, demonstrating you have a guilty conscience by leaving out the word "and sell it" when you tell me how great it runs and you're just going to clean it up. I didn't come ask you about any of that. You decided to come over to me and volunteer that information. I can treat you like you treat mom and go, oh yeah, okay, and not tell you when I see right through your bullshit. But that would be compromising my principles. And that might be why I can't be around here anymore, because I'm over here minding my own business, doing my own thing. I didn't come ask you shit, but you come and blow your smoke screen my direction, and I'm supposed to just act like I believe it. And when I don't, I'm the asshole, and I have to suffer the consequences. Well, that might be why I gotta go somewhere else. Because even when I'm just sitting there trying to mind my own business, you come try to compromise my principles to make yourself feel better. Because you fear alienation and rejection for what you're about to do, you're trying to tell me, oh no, it runs great now. This is the end of our elaborate plans, my friend. Of everything that stands, the end. And this might be the last time that we get to go through this, and those that don't make it through this time, delete. But you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And once they've been living a certain lifestyle and developed a certain strategy of success in life, or what they think is success, I don't expect any of you to change. You don't take the shit I say or do or the things you've seen happen to me in my life seriously. And in fact, you're still waiting and hoping to see me fall flat on my face. You see, Mom could have taken honesty from you. She knows you'll never be honest with her. You'll always just tell her whatever she wants to hear, and you've enabled her to become the person she is. Starting 10 years ago when she was still a functional human being contributing to this family, but she decided she was going to get on Suboxone to try and help Melanie off heroin. And I'd come over and see her face first into the computer keyboard in the computer room. You say, oh, she's just tired. I got her up early this morning. I kept her up late last night. Ain't nothing right. You got any problem with that? You talk to me. It's my fault. And enable her the same way Bill would say, oh no, Brenda, yeah, she just likes to use the gas station's bathroom over there in Lehigh and run her clear across Utah County to use that bathroom over there in Lehigh. Bill, I have a bathroom here. There's a gas station in Maverick right there. You're driving her clear to Lehigh to use the bathroom there. Oh yeah, she just likes it better there. It's a better bathroom. You're taking her to do a drug deal, Bill. No, she's not on that anymore. She doesn't do that. Bill would enable Brenda. He's making up for something he feels bad about. And by the looks of it, so are you. She could have used some honesty a long time ago. Like, yeah, maybe it would have been better if I was honest with her back then and said, look, Julie, this ain't working. You're hurting yourself. And if you were willing to take the slings and arrows of her saying, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. How dare you? So you can call me a bad guy. But instead, you want to take the easier, softer, more convenient way out, which in the short term seems like it benefits you. And in the long term, this is what it has led to. So at this point, you're like, well, yeah, maybe honesty would have been a good idea back then, but not now. I mean, now that we've gone so far and we're close to the end of the road, I can't change my ways now. I mean, now if I tell her the truth about herself, it'll hurt her feelings so bad that you think you're protecting her from the things that will hurt her, but protecting her from the truth about herself is not a good way to do that. I am telling you truths that will incur consequences upon me, and I will have to suffer the inconvenience and the hardship and the discomfort of telling the truth. But I'm willing to do that for you, and I wish you were willing to do that for her. Hopefully some of these things I've said ring a bell, but I don't think they will. People out there in YouTube land take me a lot more seriously than any of my friends and family. But that's just a natural phenomenon. Everyone does it. They'll take the word of a door-to-door salesman over their wife or husband or brother or mother or sister or father. Because those are just regular family members and I know all their faults and flaws, but this stranger at the door, he might actually know something. I'm going to listen to him. You don't know shit. This guy, he might know something. People out there in YouTube land take my life experience more seriously than my own friends and family. The people who I wanted most to benefit from this. So I have new family now. People with whom I have more things in common. The tie that binds, common beliefs, common experiences, common priorities, common principles, and common standards of behavior. The tie that binds, whether it's the Book of AA, the Book of Mormon, the United States Constitution, or your wedding vows just between two people, the tie that binds is the mutually agreed upon interests, likes, dislikes, the things that we both have in common, that we both believe in, whether it be our wedding vows, our religious text, the founding documents of this country, the Book of AA, the tie that binds between any group of people, even if only between two, is those commonly agreed upon mutual interests and appreciations and things that you value. We're coming to a fork in the road, and we're going to be separated based upon those values. And I think that's about all I have for this one. It's just getting a little bit too thick. These are the shoes that I spoke of earlier that I broke my foot in. And when I was out in Missouri, Cue Ball, the guy who I met was somewhat my mentor, said, you want this lifestyle, it takes a lot of footwork, man. I mean a lot of footwork. Like I'm talking holes in your shoes footwork. When I broke my foot in them, on my first day at work, within the first hour, I literally had black tape, electrical tape, the wide electrical tape, wide strip of electrical tape. So you couldn't hardly see, you couldn't hardly tell. That might be why I broke my foot. And I just want to say that I've known for a long time that I've kneecapped myself in order to stay here with this family and engage in the same lifestyle as they do so that we might have some priorities that overlap. Like smoking weed. That is military-grade weaponized weed these days. And everyone knows it, but they want to keep getting high. And they keep smoking it all day, every day, and they can't breathe, and they haven't actually gotten high in years because their tolerance level is through the roof. This new military-grade weaponized weed is nothing like the marijuana we started on. Everyone knows it. The only reason they don't want to admit it is because they want to keep smoking it and they want to get high. Catch-22 is the only way you get high is by quitting for a month. And if you do that, one hit puts you in the couch for 6 to 8 hours. One hit and you cannot drive for 6 to 8 hours. But then your tolerance level grows so quickly that if you continue doing it again the next day and the next day and the next day, a few days later, you can drive. A few days later, it's like smoking cigarettes, except the oil on it coats your lungs with such a thick coating that when my stepdad, his car died the other day when we were driving it away from the repair shop, he pushed me across the intersection. And then I walked back to his car to ask what we're going to do with the car, and he's like, just a minute, let me hold my breath. Hold on, let me catch my breath. He couldn't even talk. He was afraid he was going to die right there and have a heart attack right there. Everyone knows it's military-grade weaponized weed that is an artificial version, a man-made replica of what once was. And when this shit appeared, the red hair disappeared all at once. And that's how you know the war on drugs was bullshit. Because when they decided to seal the border and no more red hair Mexican regular marijuana got through in 1 year. It's not like there was a trickle. and a shortage of supply, but then, oh, well, they must have got another thing across the border because now there's some regular weed again. No. There was a cutoff line, and as of that cutoff line, there was no more marijuana, and the only thing you could get is this new military-grade weaponized weed. There wasn't an influx period or a transitional changeover period. It was all at once, which proves that when they decided to seal the border and replace the supply coming from Mexico with their own supply coming from these grow houses, they did it. Border was closed. You haven't seen Mexican red hair weed in 10 years. No one has. It's not like it happened over the course of 10 years. 1 year. The old shit disappeared. The new shit was replaced. It was replaced by the new shit. And that was when it first started becoming medically legal in a couple of states. In fact, I don't even think it was it might not have even been medically legalized in like Oregon and Washington yet. We're talking that was probably over 10 years ago. My point was I kneecapped myself like that song, I Locked My Bike to Yours by Jack Johnson, so that we might have some things in common, some underlying common priorities, like getting high and spending our money on another bag of weed and being willing to fuck somebody over on a lemon car in order to get another few $100 to get another couple bags of weed. I can't do that with you anymore. If I chose to be successful by the standards and the measures of society and go my own way, I'd have a nice house and a nice car, and I have other priorities and other principles that are the reason that I engaged in those standards of behavior, so that I could see it through with you. Those days are over. It hurts to set you free, but you'll never follow me.